Happy Friday Eve, everybody. X-Man 1991 back again with another video. Welcome back to another edition of my anniversary rants. So real quick, we have a classic hip-hop album turning 30. So let's get right into it. April 7th, 1992, DOS EFX released their debut album Dead Serious through East West Records and distributed through Atlantic Records. The album was a certified hit, peaking at 16 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the top R&B/hip-hop albums chart for 5 weeks and was certified platinum in 1993. Well received upon its release, Dead Serious has since been regarded by music writers as a significant and influential album in hip-hop. Of course, EPMD were the executive producers of this album. The 3 singles include Straight Out the Sewer, Want EFX, and Mike Checker. Speaking of Mike Checker, the song Mike Checker was covered by Method Man and Redman as Checker from their Blackout album. I like both versions of Mike Checker, the one by DOS EFX and the one by Method Man and Redman. So looking back 30 years later, I can't believe it's been 30 years since DOS EFX released their first album. And I wasn't even a year old yet when this album came out. But it's a classic to me. One of the best albums that came out in the year 1992. Also, both Mike Checker and Want EFX were both #1 singles. Yeah, I forgot about that. They were both #1 singles. DOS EFX is definitely one of my favorite hip-hop duos, next to Mobb Deep, Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, P Rock and CL Smooth, Lord Tariq and Peter Guns and Lord Tariq, Method Man and Redman, of course, M.O.P., Mobb Deep, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Eric B and Rakim, EPMD, Run DMC, etc. No, Run DMC is a trio, but the duo MCs are Rev Run and DMC. Definitely a classic, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked this album yet, you need to. By the way, y'all know yesterday has been 30 years since Barney and Friends premiered on PBS, but I really didn't want to do a rant about that show. Tuesday was the 35th anniversary of Married with Children premiering on Fox, and 35 years since Fox's prime time aired. Fox was launched in 1986 on October 9th, but the prime time didn't air until April 5th of 1987. And now, today's been 30 years since DOS EFX released their Dead Serious album. It's definitely a classic. So shout out to Scoop and Crazy Dre's for this amazing classic album. In the meantime, that wraps up my quick rant celebrating 30 years of DOS EFX debut album I'm Serious. Dead Serious, excuse me. If you're new here, hit subscribe if you like the content and hit that notification bell for my next anniversary rant. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave your comment down below. What are your 2 cents about DOS EFX Dead Serious album turning 30? I'll be back in a minute to reminisce 19 years of The Rock calling out Goldberg from the April 7th, 2003 edition of Monday Night Raw. Happy 30th anniversary to DOS EFX Dead Serious.